July 8th. This is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are President Tsai's countermeasures and U.S. withdrawal from WHO and the death of MSI CEO. First, I want to talk about President Tsai and countermeasures and the U.S. withdrawal from WHO. Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen stated that, if necessary, Taiwan will consider countermeasures to the Hong Kong national security law. And today, U.S. President Donald Trump seems to counter back one step ahead. And why do I say that? Trump announced the withdrawal from the WHO today, which will take effect on July 6 next year. I think Trump's move seemingly is picking on WHO for its pro-China position. However, in fact, it is considered to be the first step to counter back the Hong Kong national security law. The withdrawal from WHO is just a beginning. What about Taiwan's countermeasures? President Tsai said that, should we find that the rules are having a negative impact on Taiwan and its people, the government will consider launching response measures. And these are some possibilities. A, removing the Taiwan Affairs Office in Hong Kong. B, Taiwan will consider to issue a travel warning for Hong Kong. And C, most serious is the act governing relations with Hong Kong and Macau, 港澳关系条例, will become invalid because if Hong Kong is controlled by China, then Hong Kong will be regarded as the same with China. Therefore, the act is no longer necessary to exist. Remember, I mentioned before, former President Ma Ying-jeou said that the Taiwan national security law is 不遑多让, no less than that the national security law of Hong Kong. President Tsai responded, and she said, many people wonder why Ma Ying-jeou said that. And it is also hard for me to understand why he said that. And what's interesting is both of them attended an event in Taipei, Zhinangong, Zinan Temple at the same time today. And they just passed by without saying, any conversation. It's kind of awkward when President Tsai passed through Mr. Ma. Mr. Ma was having an interview and criticizing that the biggest problem of the President Tsai is not to review her herself. But looking at the situation in Hong Kong, I think Mr. Ma is the one who do not review himself. Second issue I want to talk about, the death of MSC and MSI CEO. MSI MicroStar International General Manager and CEO Jiang Shengchang passed away yesterday after falling from a building. MSI is one of the three well-known hardware companies in Taiwan. It has the same popularity as Gigabyte and Asus. It is leading in the field of esports and electronic sports. MSI stated that CEO Jiang Shengchang passed away due to health condition. According to sources, Jiang Shengchang had a cardiac catheterization in June last year. Jiang Shengchang has an outstanding performance in MSI, and he gave a speech in the United States earlier this year and also published a very popular and kind of number industry-leading world's first products. His death is regrettable. It is also a great loss for the esports industry and also the hardware company. Here are the top stories. Today, we have 0 confirmed cases. As the COVID-19 cases continue to rise in the United States, U.S. President Donald Trump made a big move in WHO. Trump administration has notified Congress and the United Nations of withdrawal from WHO. And Trump said that in a White House announcement that Chinese officials ignored their reporting obligations to the WHO and pressured the organization to mislead the public about the outbreak that has already killed more than 130,000 Americans. And also, the withdrawal notice was sent to United Nations on Monday and will take effect in a year on July we're talking about July 6, 2021. And it is kind of considered to be a move that would cut off one of the largest sources of funding from the premier global health organization in the middle of the pandemic. And also, U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, he also traded. He said that to call Trump's response to COVID-19 and chaotic or incoherent doesn't do it justice. This won't protect American lives or interest. It leaves Americans sick and Americans alone. On the other hand, WHO finally acknowledged evidence emerging of the airborne spread of coronavirus. WHO has previously said the virus was caused COVID-19 spread primarily through small droplets, kind of expelled from the nose and mouth of the infected person that quickly sink to the ground. However, 239 scientists in 32 countries outline evidence in an open letter which shows floating virus particles can infect people who breathe them in, and they have been urging WHO to update in this guidance. And also WHO's technical lead for COVID-19, Maria, she said, we have been talking about the possibility of airborne transmission and aerosol transmission as one of the models of transmission of COVID-19. WHO expert headed to China to study on COVID-19 origins. Head of the WHO Emergency Program, Mike Ryan, said that the best place to start is clearly where the disease emerged in humans first, where the first cluster atypical pneumonia occurred was in Wuhan. But the whole responses of the WHO is too late. Let's look at some evidence. Before we check into the evidence, I want to show you, this is the graphic that we do. So it's like what happened between Xi Jinping and Tedros. And these are some evidence that WHO is really too late. And the first, we can see on December 31st, 27 cases of pneumonia, and we're talking about with unknown causes reported in Wuhan. And China said no evidence for human-to-human transmission. And January 5th, WHO said that no evidence for human-to-human discovered. And January 12th, WHO mentioned no clear evidence for human-to-human. On the 17th, WHO said, does not recommended quarantine. On the 19th, he said, no clear evidence for kind of substantial or kind of say that you can have human-to-human. On January 27, WHO said that raise alert level. And also, talking about here, you can really tell people that there will be the possibility of human-to-human, but WHO didn't. And on the January 28th, WHO said, we'll have strong confidence for China's keeping control. They praised for China's good work. February 3rd, WHO said, there is no need to restrict travel in order to slow the spread of the virus. Finally, on March 12th, WHO said, this is a pandemic. So, the whole thing kind of dragged for 3 months. Regarding for Hong Kong issue, China opens new Hong Kong security kind of agency headquarters today at a hotel overlooking Hong Kong's Victoria Park and has been transformed into the fourth headquarters, which has hosted pro-democracy protests for years. So I think that they picked the hotel is kind of intentional. I really think that the Chinese government picked the place as headquarters is on purpose. And Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen said that, if necessary, the administration will consider countermeasures to the newly implemented rules under Hong Kong's national security law. And also, Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council said that the new law labeling it another attempt by the totalitarian regime to overstep in its quest for censorship. And Minister for Taiwan's MEC, Chen Ming-tong, said that we are astonished by the law and warn Beijing and Hong Kong government not to overstep their authority and violate human rights and the rights of Taiwan's groups and organizations in Hong Kong. Well, that would be the view for today. And also, we know that for the podcast and also for the Facebook, we will also kind of put something like for an English classroom, something like that, so you can join us. But that will be for the view for today. I'm Catherine Chang. I hope you have a nice night. I'll see you tomorrow.